Lost in a sea of fog. Terrified, Elara must make a choice: succumb to fear or trust the unseen. Join her journey as she confronts her deepest anxieties. Discover how faith, not sight, guides her through the storm. By the end, you'll learn how to navigate your own uncertainties, transforming fear into the courage to explore uncharted waters. Elara lived in a small fishing village, where the coastline was her world. Every cove, cliff, and familiar wave was her map, but also, unknowingly, her cage. Beyond the sight of land, the open sea filled Elara with deep fear. She was terrified of losing her way, of drifting endlessly without a point of reference. Each day she set out with the rule that governed her life: never lose sight of the shore. This rule gave her a sense of security and control. She felt safe navigating the calm waters close to home, where the seagulls' cries reminded her that she was never truly alone. But inside, she wondered what lay beyond the cliffs and coves she well. Yet that curiosity was always overshadowed by fear. One quiet afternoon, Elara set out on her fishing boat, as she usually did. The sea was calm and the sky was clear. She followed the coastline closely, gathering a few fish for the evening meal. Suddenly, a thick fog rolled in from the sea, heavier than any she had ever seen. It wrapped around her boat like a giant invisible hand. In moments, the familiar cliffs and shores disappeared. Elara found herself surrounded by gray water, stretching endlessly in all directions. Panic seized her heart, her breath caught in her throat, and her hands trembled on the wheel. Her mind screamed at her to drop the anchor and wait for the fog to lift, to do nothing rather than risk becoming more lost. But she also remembered something her grandfather, a deep-sea mariner, had once told her. He had said, "The sea tests you most when you cannot see. That is when you must trust what you know, not what you see." Elara's eyes fell upon the compass resting on the boat's dashboard, a small tool she had always kept but never fully understood or trusted. Its needle pointed steadily to the north, a direction invisible to her eyes, but constant and unwavering. She had always feared using it, because following a needle was uncertain, unlike the shore she could see and touch. Yet now, faced with the overwhelming fog, she realized the compass was her only guide. Taking a deep breath, Elara made a brave choice to let go of her fear and place her faith in the compass. She would trust the tiny needle's direction instead of waiting for the fog to lift. Though her heart pounded and her hands still shook, she steered the boat away from where she thought the shore was. Hours passed as Elara sailed blindly through the thick gray mist. Her thoughts fluctuated between hope and doubt, but she kept her focus on the compass, refusing to glance back toward the lost coastline. Every wave that rocked the boat reminded her of how uncertain the journey was. Yet, she kept moving forward. Because faith, she realized, was about action, not hesitation. Then, as if the sea had finally decided to reward her courage, the fog began to thin. The gray curtain slowly lifted, and through the clearing haze, Elara saw a faint but unmistakable shape. It was not her home port, but something new, the silhouette of a lighthouse standing tall on a distant point of land. For the first time, Elara experienced the thrill of discovery. She had navigated through uncertainty by trusting the tools and knowledge she possessed. The lighthouse was more than just a beacon of light. It was a symbol of her newfound courage and faith. From that day forward, Elara sailed farther than ever before. She still respected the safety of the shore, but no longer let fear limit her spirit. And so, the young sailor, who once feared the open sea, grew into the brave explorer of her own life, charting her course with faith replacing fear.